Good morning everybody and welcome to Two Wheel Quest. Discover the world with me. This morning it's a terrible, dismal typical English day. It's cold and wet, and today I thought I would do something which I haven't done yet. I thought I'd introduce my bike. This is the young lady in question. I thought I would call her Sundari after a popular auto rickshaw in Mohanlal film. I don't know whether she'll be offended. I haven't named her yet. I realize I haven't introduced the motorcycle properly, so let me introduce her to you. This is the Kawasaki Versys 300X ABS. Comes with ABS. It's a 296cc twin cylinder, parallel twin, derived from the Ninja 300. So it's tuned differently for little more off-road use. Not much of off-road capability. Seat height of 815 millimeters, which suits me fine. Unlike most of the others that have some off-road capability, this one sits a little lower. 40 horsepower is claimed, and it's quite easy, fun to ride kind of motorcycle. Very peppy. Here is one thing I don't like, single disc. But of course it's a cheap bike, cheap in the sense it's a low priced motorcycle, so that comes with it. Let's look at the instrumentation. Very basic. Here it shows your gear indicator. You have a clock, and then this is the odometer. The speedometer is here, and then the other features like tank, the bike range, and fuel tank cape, or how much the basic range the bike can give you on the current fuel, and it also shows consumption. Here it shows the fuel indication about what is currently. It is full, so when it comes down finally it starts blinking. Other than that, it doesn't give anything else. It goes up to, you can see, 15,000 RPM, so it runs very high, somewhere here at 100 kilometers an hour. The rest is ABS indication. It's not switchable, so the ABS is always on. The other features: 175 kilos or thereabouts, fully fueled up. 17 liters is the tank capacity, but it gives a very poor range, about 220 miles or roughly about 350 kilometers on a full tank. That is a problem. Actually, I miscalculated a little bit. I thought this was capable of more range. So fueling is a bit of a nuisance. The rest of it, everything is basic. Here you've got your indicators, turn indicator. This turn indicator is really bad. It doesn't self-cancel. Sometimes I leave the turn indicator on and then I push it in, it doesn't cancel. It's a bit cheap. Some of this is very plasticky. That's your kill switch and your start, and that's it. Simple bike, lightweight, bit off-road capability. You can see the spoked wheels. It uses tubed tires. I have to change these tires out. These are stock tires, very cheap tires. I'm going to put in the Michelin Anarchy Adventure tires. They are like 70-30, 70 on road, 30 off road capable. That's all about the bike. Lots of people ask me why I chose this bike versus so many other options. Here in England, I can buy pretty much any bike that I want. New, old, whatever. And tourer, sport tourer, adventure tourer, dual sport, whatever category you need. And they're all reasonable, I would say, compared to the bike prices I've seen in the UAE or in the US. They're quite reasonable. Not exactly cheap. But now, why did I make this choice of getting the Versys 300? By the way, this is a 2018 model and it is not new. When I bought it, it had just 2,500 miles. That's roughly about 4,000 kilometers. So that's all it had at that point. Now, why did I buy it? Now, first of all, number one, I wanted to tick a few boxes before I could get what I wanted, meaning I had my choices very, very clear. I would say one of the most important considerations was the weight of the bike. I didn't want something heavy. Number two, I didn't want a displacement that was higher than 400, 500 maximum, simply because I was under the impression that the more the displacement, the more the fuel consumption and the heavier the bike will become, which is normal. I mean, the heavier, the bigger the engine, everything else surrounding it also becomes bigger. And then I wanted fuel economy, I wanted price of the bike to be within a budget. I mean, I had to set a budget at some point, so which I had done already. Then I wanted it to be capable of going a little off-road. So both on-road and a little off-road, not like serious off-road trail riding, but at least some capability. Now, when I put all this together, I realized there were 4 or 5 choices, and I picked them up, and they were the BMW 310 GS, the 390, the KTM 390, the Royal Enfield 411, which is the Royal Enfield Himalayan, and the Versys 300. Then there was one more, of course, the CRF 300. That would have been my ideal dream bike. The only complaint I have about it is, of course, I forgot to mention the seat height was also another important consideration. For me, I'm kind of vertically challenged, so I don't want to deal with a bike that is heavy and has a tall seating. So this is all a compromise, because I have to compromise versus off-road capability versus seat height, and I didn't want, while I want off-road capability, I didn't want about 10-12 inches in suspension travel. I wanted something reasonable. So when I looked at all of this, the complaint that I had against the CRF 300 was that it was about twice the price that I paid for this, and I couldn't find a used one. I could only find a new one. Obviously, it's a new bike. Then it also had a taller seat height, and to me that was a bit of a deal breaker. But the plus side of it was that it had very low weight. It had the lowest weight in that category. It's around 152 or 153 kilos. So I put all this together, ticked all these boxes, and in a lot of boxes this one ticked right. The weight box, it ticked right. It was 172 kilos. The displacement was only 300, so that was fine for me, and that box ticked. And off-road, yes, capable. Seat height 815, which is one of the lowest, tick, fine. And the problem with this is the capability on the road when you're going like longer distances continuously, whether it can take it or not. I don't know, but I looked at all the other options and eventually decided on it. And the Himalayan would have been a very good option, but it has only, oh, by the way, also horsepower. So I wanted something in the 35 to 40 horsepower range. The problem with the Himalayan was that it was around 26, 27 horsepower. Not that it's a problem. I mean, it's not a problem really. But the weight also was against it. It was like 200 kilos, 198 fully fueled up. And there are a lot of Himalayans out here. I could find them used, and they're well looked after, and it was a good deal. So finally, when I looked at price and horsepower and capability, as well as the seat height and the weight, all of it came together here. Now, later on, I will tell you whether I'm happy with the decision or not. But I'll tell you one thing, I'm very unhappy about 2 things right now. One is the mileage. The mileage is ridiculously low. I get a total range of just 350 kilometers on this, which is about 17-liter tank. This is barely 20 kilometers a liter. I can't understand it. It's a twin-cylinder 300cc. I think, I don't know why it is so low. Number 2 is the seat. The seat, I think they made it very thin because they wanted to keep the seat height low. In the bargain, they really gave us a butt breaker, really. I mean, it is, my butt is suffering, and I will have to do something. I'll put the seat height up. So it might negate the good thing that it had originally. So that's all about the choice of bikes. I wish I could tabulate all this and show you, but perhaps in a later video. The first thing I realized was that I wanted to have some storage. So the idea was put a bag behind my seat, tie it down, but that I cannot put a 25 kilo bag behind me because I'm off for a very long time. So I thought I'd get as much I can on the bike itself properly installed, so that it doesn't you know, change the dynamics of the handling too much. I got this top case first. It's a GV top case. It's what they call the mono key. So you've got this single key that operates both the case as well as the mounting. This mounting is a separate platform that you have to buy, and then you have to get it mounted onto this stock rear rack already on the bike. It comes with the bike. So this mounts there and bolts up here. You can see those 4 bolts that run in, and then you just clip this case on. So you just press this, the whole case comes off. The whole case comes off. Very easy, and it clips back, and the same key operates this one also. So you just can use that single key, and it's very nice. It's very convenient. This is a 40-liter case. I didn't want bigger ones. Even this is quite big compared to the size of the bike. The other thing I did was I got this tank bag, which is also by GV. GV is an Italian company, makes a lot of this kind of stuff, luggage, crash guards, and that comes here. So this is the lock system, which is actually bolted on to the 4 bolts, actually the 4 screws that are inside on the main cover of the fuel cap. That comes off, this comes on, and you screw them back in, and then you're fine. After that, this stays on the bike, and then the tank bag just clips on. So you just bring it up here, put it here, and then you just clip it on. That's it. It just clips itself. That's all. And it's really very strong. I've ridden it now for quite a while, and it's very, very good. And it clips off also equally easily. Let me show you how it clips off. There's a clasp on the side. You just pull at the clasp. It's right here. You can see this red part. You just push it, and then it comes off. Oops. Yeah. So that's very easy. That is the tank bag. It's a 25-liter tank bag, and it has got an extender. So if you see this here, the tank bag can be extended by opening these zippers. You can actually bring it up, but that makes it very bulky on top of the tank of the bike. The other thing I put was the hand guards. This is real crap. It's also made by GV, but it's really horrible. It won't survive a small fall, and I don't know what to do. I've already bought it, so there's nothing I can do. Oh, by the way, I'm not being paid by GV or anybody, so all this is I've paid out of my pocket. So what is bad is bad, what is good is good. And I wanted crash guards. The crash guards are also made by GV that clips on from here, and then just makes it just protects the plastic fairing. Unfortunately, I ordered it from a company in Italy who sells GV products. They sent it to the firm from where I was picking up the motorcycle in England. But rather sadly, they sent the KLR 650, not the Versus one. So I had to return that. I still haven't got it. I'm meeting them in Italy now, because they said it would not be possible to ship them out again because of some problem that they claimed was because the UK was out of the EU. I don't know what the problem is, but they said it'll cost a lot or something. So I'm going to Genoa and meet them there and pick up my crash guard and fix it. That's really required, because these fairings just can't survive a fall. One fall and it's all plastic. So from the tank, beyond the tank, this part is entirely plastic. One fall, it's all over. So I'm hoping it would survive a fall, but I don't think so. What else did I do? I just put the basic stuff, which is just a cheap phone holder. It does the job. It's by a company called Rome. It does the job. And I wired myself a charger port, a 2-port charger. I wired it myself into the battery. Very simple. And it's not like a permanent solution, but that will have to do. So this is what I've done. Right now, so far, so good. I wish I had put in a better quality phone holder, but I couldn't find one that could clip onto this mirror rod. I'll look for something. I'm sure I'll find something. I haven't looked hard enough, that's why. And yeah, that's all I've done. So much for the bike. It's great now. It handles very well, even with all the extra load on top. I'm still putting a bag in the rear, but that's because I'm carrying a lot of stuff. I'm trying to ditch as much as possible, and let's see. I'll lighten up as I go along.